Hola. I need my glue gun. I tried and failed to make flowers out of my book cover yesterday. Good morning. Look what I did with the first. Look what I did with the first necklace, Cynthia. I don't know if you can see the colors, but they're very good with the necklace. That was already pretty crazy. But you know, now it is cooler. Just gotta let it like stretch out a little bit. Inspired you to knit sleeves for your favorite tops. Yay! Hello, Sherman Oaks, California. Yeah, I love a hot flash thing. Hey, you want to come up here? Want to say hi to people? No? Go ask somebody over there. There's 2 people in the living room. Go talk to them. Got all these red jewelry bags that I cut up. So I think I'm going to try to make tassel earrings. Hello, Georgia. Hello, Minnesota. Holding down the fort. Thoughts on Minneapolis. Hey, gotcha. I mean, I think Minneapolis is responding. Sounds like everyone's responding in a good way. The ice storm's going to be interesting. But like, the pushback is working. The administration is deeply unpopular. 96, like huge amounts of Republicans are upset about ICE. This thing about the warrant is going to be pretty significant for people. People are not going to be getting over that. You can just go into someone's home thing. So hopefully people keep responding. But it has been interesting recently because I think people ask me for my opinion on military responses because I have military experience. But then when I respond with how it works, they get really mad at me. Like, they don't care how it works, so then why are you asking me? I know how the military works. If everything changes, then I won't know how the military works. I'm making earrings out of jewelry bags. Hello, silly koala. I did a bunch of pictures of earrings. And I put a bunch of products in my shops. Check it out. But anyway, I had this is where I hang the earrings on to take pictures. And so I had the silly koala. So he's in a bunch of the... Hello, Honolulu. So, so like Cubans are getting, and they're debt because when just a very good example of, it's not that they didn't know what he was going to do. They just didn't think he was going to do it to them. Because that's the thing with cults. They tell you what they want to do to have Jane Borden's Cults Like Us. And it's like, yeah, we were praying for people's deaths and blah, blah, blah. You know, like the cult holds no shame about wishing death and disaster on outsiders. They just didn't think it was going to happen to them, right? Because, of course, the promise of the cult leader is you put me in power and keep me in power, and I'll keep you safe, right? You get to go to heaven. You get to go on some space travel. I didn't think the leopards would eat my face. Exactly. Hey, Rena. Yes, I did make this. It's out of a scarf that I got in Afghanistan, actually. I knit these big sleeves while I was walking around New York. And then I tore it because I was walking around New York. So then I put some around here. It's got a white rabbit patch, but I need another one. I need an Alice in Wonderland patch. Oh, yesterday I sewed the little steamed, ironed the little rebellious flag onto all my sparkly jackets. So now all my sparkly jackets have rebellious flags on them. We're calling it the rebellious flag. Not the rebel flag, but the rebellious flag. Yes, I'm making earrings. Yes, the Cubans think they're white, exactly. And like, they are white in Latin America terms. Not so much in America terms. It's really interesting. I learned more about that when my best friend came from Brazil to my wedding. So I grew up in Brazil, but like in an American commune cult. And, you know, my friend Micaela, who you can read about in Uncultured, her mom is Brazilian, her dad is a white American dude. And in Brazil, she's considered white. And then she came to the US and she's considered Black. Maybe Hispanic. And Brazilians get real mad when you call them Hispanic, which ICE agents are doing right now because they don't care. Yeah. Different kinds of racism. So interesting, right? Like Hitler went shopping for his racism, and he thought American racism was too intense, the one drop rule, right? That's because he had drops. He wanted more of like an apartheid system where you could become white. I went from Brazil to America, and it was so interesting. I'd never been anywhere where everyone spoke English before. So we're driving, my aunt picks us up in LA, we're driving to San Diego, and she pulls over to ask for directions, and she asks this like 10-year-old African-American boy for directions in English, and he just answers. And I was like, whoa. And I realized it's like I had seen Brazilians speak English, not Black Brazilians. And that was when I think I started thinking about like the colorism and the this and the that of there. And every time I've had Brazilians be like, oh, we don't have racism like the US. I'm like, well, it's not like the US's, it's like Brazil's. It's very interesting. Anyways, Cynthia spent the morning reading the book on Brazilian propaganda. It's very interesting. The context is it was a German teenager who went to Brazil for a study abroad. I grew up in Brazil and went to Germany for a study abroad in college. So she, from Germany, where they talk about World War II a lot, she goes to Brazil hoping to learn about the military dictatorship, and they didn't talk about it at all. And she was like, whoa. My pin says, "'Twas the tism, my lord." And that was because I went to Germany in college and we studied governance and empire. And like, I was surprised at how much they talked about it in Germany, and like, not just in class, but like students and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, legitimately, like this small, quiet school in the south of Germany was evacuated like 3 times in a 5-month period I was there for UXO retrieval, you know, like it's a thing that is talked about. Anyways, I've been digging into the Brazilian military dictatorship for the past I don't know, probably 6 months for, I think, obvious reasons, good parallels to the US in a lot of ways. God, Bolsonaro is such a loser. Yeah, I have all of these, like, just dust jackets. My publisher left like 10 here, and I'm like, what to do with it? Ein bisschen. So I tried last night cardboard flowers out of them. I failed really badly. Flowers I could put on the necklace, maybe some big ones, but I don't think that might lies therein. I might try again. But if anyone is good at cardboard flowers and would like to help me, let me know. I am going to frame one of them. Yes. Especially because the cover was so cool. Did not choose. I'm not allowed to choose covers anymore. This is what I learned from my second book. Like, both times I choose the cover that's just like so wrong. And like we get to see that because the cover goes on to get a specific praise. Hello, Old Town Alexandria. Oops, those are not the same thing. Okay. Wait. Silver, gold. Okay. Yeah. Silver. Here, that's gold. Okay, that's silver. Nope. All right, now. Black ones for now. Almost done. Oh. Yeah, the book is really pretty. They did a great job producing it. Everyone did such a good job. I don't even speak that much German. Yes, I'm making earrings. I really tried hard with German. The problem was, first of all, I had no introduction to German at all. I was traded as a chess player to Germany. Okay. So I got a free study abroad at a school that was, all my classes were in English. And it's like one of 3 private colleges in Germany, universities in Germany. So like everyone spoke English and wanted to speak English. And so hard as I tried, hard as I thought I was going to learn German. And it was interesting because because German has 6 verb tenses, and the professor was like, I've never seen an American just understand that. But I speak Portuguese and Spanish, so I understood that. But German, they have der, die, or das, the article, right? That goes with a noun, and every noun is like masculine or feminine or neutral. And I get that too, because Portuguese and Spanish have that. They have lo and la or o and a. And the ends of the words in Portuguese and Spanish tells you which one to use. And in Germany, it's just witchcraft. There's just no rule. You just have to know all of the words. And when a new noun comes out, like Google, they a professor and a teacher and a I was like, please, someone teach me the trick. And they were like, no, you just have to know. And Germans were like, just don't worry, let's just speak English. Oh, anyway, I had a lovely time in Germany. Back home in my real life, I was married to a douchebag and trying to figure out how to manage the real world. But then I just got to go spend a semester in Germany, and that was really fun. And I literally were, learning about theories of empire, and it's like basically nothing lasts more than 250 years, and this is quite generally because you expand too big and then you can't keep up. Right now I'm like, if American democracy dies on the 250th anniversary, this will just be so on the nose. Germans are funny and they're so nice. They love rules. Oh my gosh, they love rules. And that's why I keep reminding people that, like, there's a big difference between Americans and Germans. I will never forget. Okay, so we had this like town-sponsored pub crawl. Everyone's over 18 in college, so who cares? Drinking age is 18. So it's just this like very safe kids walking around, having shots at bars, hanging out. And so it's like 11 o'clock at night. This is the sleepiest town. And I go to cross the street and there's no cars. And just the sound of 5, like 18 to 20-year-old drunk Germans just like gasping and pulling me back because the walk symbol was not on. Oh. And so the answer to German ancestry, exactly. Anyway, personalities of countries are very important. I learned this once again when we were in Buenos Aires when COVID broke out. And like we were on the last flight out of Buenos Aires. And like with the exception of Brazil, because Bolsonaro was a Trump fanboy, Latin America did very well containing COVID, because when the military comes marching down the streets in Argentina and telling people to stay in their homes, they stay in their homes. Us, not so much. Like different countries have different personalities, and that matters too when you're looking at like how things are going to go. It's a big part of the intelligence officer's job is knowing the local calendar, the local customs, the local things that they care about, and etc. Christians really care about not being attacked on Christmas. Muslims don't so much set out to attack Christians on Christmas because Christmas just doesn't matter to them. Important kind of thing to know. In Germany, fine line for crossing the street. Oh my God, in Germany. So most of us were getting around on bikes. So they literally bring us in for our like first brief. And first of all, they were like, Americans specifically. There were students from all over the world, China, everywhere. They were like, Americans. There are no turnstiles for the train. There's nothing to scan, but you need to buy a ticket. Do not ride the train without a ticket, because every 10th time or something, someone will come along to check tickets, and they will throw you off at the next stop, and you will get to see a whole train of Germans stare at you and just wonder how you could be so despicable. And this was for the Americans specifically. But for everyone, it was, there are some places where the speed limit was only like, God, I always get this wrong, it's like 30 kilometers or something. And if you are going downhill on your bike without being careful, you can get a speeding ticket on your bike. So be careful. Oh, cultures are so fun. Cultures are so fun. Wine rack. Oh, one my husband made and one his brother made. I think my husband made this one. He's not there. All right, so see, I've taken the jewelry bags that most people throw away and I've turned them into little tassels. And then we're going to put them on earrings. I am staying where I'm at. I was supposed to be in New York City throwing a party this evening, but I am in Maryland because yeah, they look cool. I like them. Yeah, I was sorting and cleaning during my regular. I was about to throw away. So first of all, I recently discovered I was with tassels, and then I was at a New York bead shop and I saw fabric tassels, and I was like, oh, that's all she wrote. Matching scarfigans with matching tassels. So I was tidying my house and I was about to throw away like a leather pleather glasses like slip and a red velvety jewelry bag. And then I was like, these would probably make cool tassels. And now the jewelry bags are my faves. So we just cut whatever you want into squares. And then you could use like a chopstick or whatever, crochet hook just happens to go well. You just don't want to poke it through. Then some hot glue. Try not to put too much so that it spills out too far. And then you have to take out your crochet hook before it hot glues. A lot of times I have to go around and just make the tassel hang the way I want it to. I can do this, but paper flowers, beyond me. Yeah, and speaking of crafting, we finally got our last component of, I don't know, for me it's my business and my brand, but Craftivism. And we have a Discord channel and people are really loving it. People have been asking me to do a Discord channel for a long time. I just couldn't handle managing another thing. But because we have this knit-in and our website and the tight-knit community of resources of how to get involved and organized, now we have this Discord channel. And people, one of the things people are doing is just sharing their crafts that they're doing. Like, it's amazing. It's like Pinterest, but they're talking. So you can check that out. It's linked. I know, another Discord to join. No pressure. But we did have to turn off the knit-in tickets because 400 people already signed up. We're still figuring out where we're going to host it. One of the options is the Watergate. So I very much still am hoping for that because awesome. I think good reminder that, this country's been through hard times before. Ooh. And I made Have a Day song better. But I played it in my last 3 lives, so I probably won't do it again. Otherwise, the YouTube people will get mad at me. I know. The pun was good. Somebody was like, ma'am, you had to do it. Respect. I was like, yeah, the puns are good. We have our Not Today Fascism fundraiser stickers. You can check those out. It's like, oh, they're like, each side is different. That's why I couldn't figure it out. Brilliant. Anyway, People keep asking if I coined the term craftivism. I did not. However, there's a reason it's a thing and that it works. And it's because I think people think of crafts as like inherently low threatening, which is silly because we're literally working with like deadly materials in a very skilled manner, but okay. But also like what are you gonna do? Are you gonna send soldiers on a bunch of like white ladies with knitting needles carrying a banner of crochet, granny squares? You're gonna send soldiers on the grannies with their knitting needles? So I'm reading about propaganda right now. You can propaganda too. But most importantly, we're trying to focus on organizing and educating. Because that's just the answer. I got my first paid speaking gig of this book round, and it's an atheist association. And I'm like, yeah, good for them. I have been as guilty as anyone of like making fun of the churchgoers and the evangelicals and their obsessions, but like they have been organizing. And white atheist America on the left really has not. And now we need to. So it's 10 degrees here today. I don't know why the weather is like where everybody else is from, but there's obviously going to be some very bad storms in the country. Most importantly, I failed to get a sled for Knitting Cult Baby. Hopefully her other parent is going to figure that out today. -12 in Minnesota. Good luck, ice. In both ways. Laundry basket. That's a good idea. I was literally like, cookie sheet? Hi, friends? We'll figure it out. We had one last year. We don't know what happened. Oh, and my lovely trad husband made some gluten-free European wheat banana bread last night. In our new bread maker. I'm making earrings. Yeah, he's good. I was on the radio. Today came out one Joe Donahue show. I'm telling you, everyone's hearing about the workbook and being like, oh, you need to come back. Which is great. That's what you want. Here. Oh, my scissors. If you all haven't seen the knitting swords yet, here they are. This is the matriarchy. Knitting swords. Why? because it's a very cute, very successful product for my brand that was dreamed up by my then 8 or 9-year-old. And if I had walked into a traditional publisher and been like, hey, I want some sword knitting needles to launch with my research book, they would have been like, huh? And probably not happened. Hey girl, when we're complimenting someone on their hair, we just say hair. We don't have to say wig. Super common microaggression that white women do against black women. So start practicing now. Have a day. My number one fear, then you break my window. This is a bit of a learning exercise for me. I've never been in this weird elevator before, and I'm not sure where to go next, but I feel like that someone was having a really hard time. I should probably try to work what's going on with him. Like he's angry about the noise, maybe? Oh. Somebody on Threads was like, all I hear is read my book. I just shared it. Like, when they're trying to insult you, but they're telling you that your marketing is working. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So now I've got a whole bunch of little. It's still spreading too wide. Stop man-spreading. Yo. Go back. Control yourself. Hello. Damn it. Heather Cox Richardson, I need a sound of her saying, Donald Trump's brain is full of squirrels. Like, can we just have that for everything? I just need to play it for everything. In Sweden, we have a winter transport vehicle for local personal transports. Small, huh. This is huge. This is incredible. Oh my gosh, it's a money tree. It is true. Racists are not usually super smart with their insults. Oh, thank you. I made it from a scarf. These are my scarfigans. I recently bought scarfigan.com, so maybe I'll do something with that. But I had all these scarves. This one specifically is from Afghanistan. I know, people have complicated feelings about that. Trust me, so do I. I'm supposed to deposit my $1. Hello, I'd like to open an account. For my first deposit, I have this one piece of paper currency, which I hope will grow and grow and grow. And oh, he's crying. Okay, this is embarrassing. That's like literally my this one might be ruined. Ruined. I don't know if it can be saved yet, but I'm trying. Gar. Darn. That means I have one without a pair. Those can make necklaces. Of course they're trying to change the Constitution. They're trying to be dictators. This is, what we have been saying for a very long time. They're mostly being stopped / quite bad at it. Like, at this point, it's funny, but it's funny like a toddler with a machine gun, but like how he can't figure out how to use the military. Like he wants to so bad, but he just can't figure out. Anyways, I'm knitting with the swords right now. They work fairly well for the way that I knit, because it's really just the tiny tips and made this part cooler at the end. But they feel very swashbuckly, which is lovely if you just need something to fidget with. But I knit with my fingers so close to the top of my knitting needle. I know, this yarn's cool, right? It's gonna be a cool jacket. Yes, this is a good point. Racism by design. Ignorance of racism is by design in American culture. So yeah, generally when you hear something. And the other thing that white people will do is be like, I don't think that's racist. And like, that's not for white people to say. Just like it's not for men to say what is sexism. Like when I was doing my first book deal, I was like, I will only work with a woman editor because a huge undercurrent of this book is sexism. And I'm not trying to convince a man that this is sexism. Like I just don't have the energy for that. So comparing and using it in control of a cult, large many of us are not part of. Oh, I don't know what discussion is going on over here. Yes, I was just listening to Heather Cox Richardson talking about the Jack Smith hearings too. Definitely go follow her if you are a person who's worried about our country right now. All right, so that is that. Now we're gonna undo the hot. Wait, I have more things to hot. All right, first we've got. Oh, look, I got all these butterfly motifs that I'm gonna like. I'm gonna do some kind of necklace just full of them. That's gonna be great. Some fancy bimbies. How do I avoid finger pain? Okay, see, so this is one of the things that I say that is like, it's a good example for talking about knitting and talking about cults and how it's related, which is that I've been knitting for 33 years. As long as Jesus was alive. Oh, I've been waiting to be 38 so I can say that. And that's the answer. Like I was good at push-ups in the military as a 22-year-old because I've been knitting for so long and a kitchen slave who had to make bread. 6 loaves of bread every 2 days. But like, there's no trick. I don't have a trick. I just have extremely strong hands and wrists and fingers. And maybe that won't last me my whole life as I break down. But I know people want a trick, but my trick is just, I've been doing it for that long. I used to get really creepy comments from men when I was 22 in the military. Like, oh, nice handshake. Because it's just very strong. Oh, look at this. Lovely Indian bracelet. My friend Namita brought me for my book launch. So cute. Yeah. Going in the military 22 was interesting. Every once in a while, people would be like, why should we listen to someone who made the decision to join the military? I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily advocating you listen to 22-year-old me. 22-year-old me did a lot of silly things. There's a whole book about her. Okay. That's all I needed to hot glue. The other thing needs to be epoxied. It's a very cool necklace that I keep dropping and breaking. Where's the bag for the glue gun? All right. Yeah, we're in the first generation now of veterans that are mostly like warning their children away from the military, which is, well, I think for a lot of reasons. I have made headbands. I have 1 or 2 in my shop. I just like wrap them in the fuzzy yarn. Those are cute. I don't make that many of them just because I can't wear headbands, and so I never think of it. That's it. I need my pliers. All right, so now that we have them on their things, all we gotta do is the hooks. It's harder than making the jewelry is just taking the time to list it in the shop. A lot of times you can just put your hook directly into the tassel thing, but these have a really thick base, so. Why are we talking about arthritis? So we were talking about crafts and having the strength to do stuff, and I was just saying that mine to like craft for many hours every day is built up over time, and that there's no like trick to it. And I think this is like the way I explained the difference between guru and experts, but also artists relate to this, which is like when people act like, oh, you have such talent, and it's like, sure, maybe, but this is also so many hours. You know, when I was in the army, people would be like, man, like, I don't know anybody who runs like you, or, you know, how do you run like you? And I'd be like, well, I practice for 2 hours every day, you know? So I have found that if I am working for more than 12 to 16 hours a day, heavily with crochet, which is the one I'm less experienced with, and that's usually like a travel day or something, then my hands will start aching a little bit. But that's it. But I'm very, very scared of carpal tunnel. If I had to step in front of a like, what were those monsters that turned into your worst fear? Mine would be like carpal tunnel syndrome. It's really funny when people try to accuse you of thinking you're an expert in everything when they just can't tell the difference between not popping off about everything. But going back to the difference in guru and expert is like, so first of all, gurus try to pretend like they have way too much expertise. If you remember the pandemic video, she claimed medical expertise in like 12 topics, and that's not how it works. Gurus will or experts can tell you where all of their expertise came from, right? Even a surgeon with 17 years of experience, she can be like, yeah, I studied here, I did this, I interned under this, I got this from there. They maybe can't always cite off the top of their head the exact thing, but generally they can tell you where their experience comes from. But gurus are like touched by angels and now can heal you. And this is the same thing with artists. Most artists, you know, that are really, really skilled at their thing, they've been doing it for many years. Yeah, Minnesota really seems to be doing a good job of organizing there. Yay! Welcome to the space travel era. Look how cute those are. And if you want them to be even more dancey, you can hang them on long silver things in between and like put beads on them or whatnot. You probably can use the sword needles to hold up your hair. Yes, I would think so. I also do use crochet hooks sometimes. When I'm in the live action, this frizzle, it's going to be just like knitting needles in the hair. I took a hole in my shop yesterday, y'all, as I'm tidying, so go check that out. I've got these really cute earring trees for like just big earrings at my event. Those sold very well, but like not the collars and not the like cuffs and stuff. So I don't know how to display them yet. I'm going to be doing an event in Los Angeles. It's my newest event. I want to say it's Tuesday, March 31st in Hollywood. And I would like to find a person who would like to help me with that. I will pay this person very well. It's going to be like to help me greet people and also run sales and stuff. If you are interested, email admin@uncultureyourself.com. I'm going to have my child with me, so I need to be able to pay attention to her. So I need to get help. Oh, I need help with all my events. KCL in Hollywood, yeah. Hopefully it's better than the last time. Which reminds me, I need to knit a jacket for my lawyer. I'm going to buy a leather jacket and then a leather jacket. Maybe in black, but I don't know. Then I'm going to cut off the sleeves and I'm going to knit like cable sleeves on it. I think it's going to be really cute. I always come back to Seattle. The email is admin@uncultureyourself.com. Yeah, I just need I need a place I can send books to, someone to help me do sales, and then just like recommendations on where you think we should host it. Lawyer jacket, yes, he agreed to be paid briefly in knitting, which is good because I can't actually afford his rate yet. Hollywood lawyers. These red ones are so cute. They're going to go great with the red sparkly sleeves. I think the pattern already in the Discord for the granny squares, but I think we're going to put it out on Monday. We're going to have our meeting. I don't know if it's on the site yet. I'm sorry. I have really good people running that, and so that I can sit around and do crafts. Well, hey, Bryn, I'm going to be in Dallas on the 16th of April. I don't know where, Texas is large. All right, so these are the events. New York had to shift, so it's probably going to be like that last weekend of February. Then we have the Knit-In on March 8th in DC. Then on March 31st, I'm going to have a knitting called Happy Hour in Hollywood. And then April 16th, which is a Thursday, in Arlington, part of Dallas, I think. Ethan, did you have suggestions of locations? See, I have better ties to Dallas and a lot of Houston trauma, so I always end up going back to Dallas and not Houston. And then I'm going to go to, so then that was April 16th in Dallas, and then May 9th-ish, we're going to be in New Orleans for International Thrift Con. And we're going to do a KCL happy hour. My talent manager's there. It'll be great. And then at the very end of May, probably early June, we're going to do London. And then I think in July we're going to go to Iowa City, Iowa. And that's what I have so far. I gotta plug my computer in. I took my plug and I put it somewhere I wouldn't forget. There it is. I would probably need help for London. I'm going to team up with another author. I know I hope, if the dates work out, but I'm sure we could always use help for me, it's like everyone wants to talk to me, so I can sit and sign books and talk to people, but I can't do like all of it. So, the Discord server is not a Patreon thing. It is a knit-in thing. Although that is a good idea to post it in my Patreon. Let me see what the actual software is complete. So now I have to press a bazillion buttons. I don't like this new software update. Okay. So just finding that by going to my own social media link.
Did I do this by flying into her with my enormous body? Murder, I thought she was going to catch me. I feel like this has turned into like a first aid situation, but unfortunately I'm just a cat. Although I guess the same basic principles apply.
If you are in Dallas or LA, we already have like events holders in my bio, so you can check those out. Okay, the Angry Knitting website. Just need to see what that actual site is. No, it's like complicated, of course. Yeah, the easiest way is going to be to go to my link in my bio and find the Angry Knitting. Because we didn't like bio website yet. So look, someone sent me this already very fabulous necklace, but then I added yarn, and you can't tell, but most of it is very shiny, like metallic yarn. So I think it looks really cool. Many of these will end up in my shops eventually. Hello. You want to come say hi to the people?
Which side is better?
If you pull up this chair, I'll just scoot over.
And also, what'd you think of the banana bread?
It's delicious. Ay, ay, ay.
And also, can they hear me?
I'll take these out. We have YouTube there, and we have TikTok there.
Oh, multiple platforms. Oh, I'm way too close. My goodness, nobody wants to see that. Try that. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's significantly better. Good morning. Hope everybody's braving the cold okay.
Where is the epoxy that I need to fix these?
To the left of the TV on the shelves over there. Yeah. Thank you, Cameron. Go Hawks. Tomorrow is another big day. I remember the last time. Oh, I do remember the last time we watched an NFC Championship game. It was actually Knitting Cult Lady's like first big football experience. Are you asking for my help with this?
Yes.
We needed like a piece of cardboard and one of the big toothpicks from the bamboo. Seabirds, I'll take it. Oh my goodness, sorry. It's a Saturday morning, and I guess I just haven't had enough coffee yet. The cabinet above the coffee pot, bottom shelf, back left corner. It's late afternoon, 16:45. Where is that? Europe? Where is it? Where is it +6 from here? That's like Greenwich. That might even be France. Where is that? Haven't seen you since Half Moon Bay. Well, nice to see you again then, Mary. I remember that party.
What?
We weren't quite all the way that far south, were we?
What's Half Moon Bay?
That was near where we were in San Francisco. That was like your San Fran event, I believe.
Yeah, we do need coffee.
And
I
yeah,
can make more coffee.
Wanna make more? That would be
We
great.
can do that.
When I mix this, you only have 5 minutes. Is this maybe? Yeah, this is a 5-minute
You can do
epoxy.
it, right?
Oh, I can't do that and talk to people at the same time. I'm not that talented. We need some warmer weather because a solid third of the country is just about to get hammered. I mean, I think large swath already is just getting hit today. Like for anyone in Dallas, Little Rock, Memphis, I see it starting now too. So like, I hope everyone prepared. You're out of coffee? Oh, you can't be out of coffee when the weather's about to get awful. Like that's when you have to have lots of coffee. Sweden, there we go. That makes sense. GMT +1. I was in the ballpark at least. Sorry, I don't have to think in Zulu very often anymore. But hello, Sweden. Good evening. This actually isn't cold for you. You're always prepared for this.
Beaded necklace plus butterflies.
Missouri has started, I believe that. Yep. Missouri's probably far enough north. You're getting all snow though, right? So hopefully no ice. So that's easier to prepare for. It's these areas that are getting large swaths of land that are getting multiple centimeters or nearly an inch of ice are the ones I'm worried about because that is going to be not good.
Liddy got to do his favorite thing.
Maryland shut down with an inch. Yes, we do. It's I've shut down and it's still just cold. So I was just thinking, I was staring out the window going, okay, when we have 10 inches of snow and another fraction of an inch of ice on top of that, how am I going to go watch the Seahawks? And I haven't come up with a solution yet. I think I'm just going to reach out to the dad. Oh, it's not the dad chat anymore. It's the neighborhood chat and say, will somebody please that has cable let me come watch a football game? And I'm sure I'll be all right. Yeah, snow in Nashville turning to sleet soon. Yeah, I was concerned for Nashville. Hi, Megan. Nevada isn't getting any of this. Yeah, I know. That's why Seattle's a great place to be hosting the NFC Championship right now. I think both games just happen to be in places where they're not going to be, other than the travel. Like the travel is going to be hugely impacted, but the games should actually be pretty easy to play, right? Because it's one of them is obviously in Seattle. Where's the AFC Championship? Is that New England versus? Oh, who's the other AFC team? See, that's how little. Denver. Well, yeah, they're always getting snow anyway, and it's in Denver. So this is they're actually just getting normal snow there. But is that still an outdoor game? Ooh, that should be an interesting game. Good day from Melbourne? Man, all the way in Australia even? Hello. What? I don't even know what time of day. 101.3 at 2:50 in the morning. Yikes! I've seen those days. I've lived those days. Unpleasant. There was another shooting in. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Like, we've had this conversation. How the expectation as the resistance ramps up, so will the anger from those being resisted. So let's hope we can keep things under control, or not under control, but because things are very much out of control. Let's hope that we can keep things as much controlled as possible. But I was going to say, I read this morning, apparently FEMA and the rest of Department of Homeland Security is being discouraged from using the word ice when talking about the current ice storms occurring, because there's such negative connotations with the word ice just universally now. So like on the social aspect, like the impacts are there and happening. We've got them controlling their language for a change instead of us just trying to have to control ours. So keep it up, especially the Minneapolis right now. Like, we hope for the best for you, wish you the best, and we're trying to do our part here to support. There we go. That's probably what we need.
And we give a lot of money to the ACLU, which is fighting Trump, and I'm trying to talk more to white women about giving money. It's not flashy, but give money. Most of us have a little bit of extra money that we could give.
To any of my family that might stumble across this, know that money you send us just gets given away to good causes that you wouldn't like. Anyway, are they supposed to say frozen water? I think they're trying to go with sleet or freezing rain or any super cooled water droplets, anything to avoid the term ice. 28 here in Seattle this weekend. Oh, good morning, Seattle. I mean, chilly, but less impacted. Yes, hello.
I'm playing Roblox on the VR.
Dang, who knew you could do that?
I didn't watch it yet, Lisa, because I thought it was with the Christmas video again. But I will go watch it now that I know that that's what it is. Okay, so look, I'm taking this necklace and I'm going to put more colors on it, and then I'm going to glue a bunch of butterflies on it, and probably this crochet flower.
Right.
Every time a man pisses me off on Facebook,
that.
I donate in his name to Planned Parenthood.
That one made
That's
me
amazing.
giggle. I like
Yeah.
that. Speaking of men and the interwebs lately, I haven't seen the details. What's this apparently liberal dude who's just like gets drunk and reaches down women's pants?
Yeah, it was someone that I followed, I think just because he's in the ecosystem, but I don't actually spend a lot of time watching
I haven't
videos,
seen the
so
details,
I
but I
don't-
know if you're trying to.
I've seen the details of his accuser.
Anytime you have to defend
it was not
yourself
good,
by saying, "But I was drunk," like you was wrong and bad. I don't know how much. How low is it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway.
But yeah, people wonder why women choose the bear universally. It's like that guy.
Also, like,
That's not
I don't know.
work.
I've been thinking a lot about like the influencer community getting together to work on things and trusting each other too much, which is similar to the veteran community, which is similar to
That's true.
cults, which is similar to.
Do you have a piece of tape, or can you get me some tape? Sorry, folks. Epoxying briefly. Ooh. There we go.
Okay. What kind of tape?
Oh, I'm just gonna need to hold this in place after I get all these epoxy. Anyway, let's talk about
I
motorcycles.
use all the kinds of yarns that people send me at this point. Some sent me this box of beautiful, like not sent, brought to my book party. I don't even really know who it was.
Which one?
Some box that wasn't wrapped, and it was like just hundreds of dollars of like silk yarn and bamboo yarn. Beautiful
style.
Stuff. But I'm hoping they got it.
That's coffee.
Yes. There you go. Get your coffee. Here's tape.
Oh, cripes. Set the tape.
Like this?
Just tape it on the front of the stone here so I can. It just needs to. There you go.
Okay.
That'll work.
I keep dropping. I got to 26 push-ups and then I hurt my wrist, so I've been giving it a week to heal, and I haven't been advertising that nearly enough, so I understand the confusion.
I was just wondering that myself earlier.
Come back probably tomorrow with
Okay.
15 and see what I can do.
Hopefully the tape holds. There we go. Oh, appreciate that, Derek. That was this morning at 9. I haven't seen details of it yet, but I don't doubt it for a second. And I'm sure it will be disputed and lied about by roughly a third of the country. I was drunk when I donated all the money to the, let's see. In Gilbert, we got frost this morning. Where's Gilbert? I don't know that I've heard of that place. Influencer community, push-up journey, yeah. So, seeing we need more reporting. That's why the network and close reporting and all of those human sources are all important, but we definitely need good verification of things. Otherwise, hysteria spools. Although, something like that is very easy to believe. We just have to wait for more sources. Oh, it's a Saturday coffee. Oh, so anyway, what else were there? Oh, motorcycles. What do y'all think of motorcycles being used as tools to go be able to introduce yourself to ICE agents? That way my scooter just doesn't have the range or the speed to go on streets and actually get to places where they're doing these things. But I feel like if I'm all dressed like a veteran and just show up with a GoPro and watch things, that's better than trying to get there with a car, because a car is easy to just for them to be all crazy with, as we've seen.
Please also know he's like 6'2", and his veteran jacket makes it clear that he's cooler than all the other veterans.
Yeah. If it's clear
he's
that I'm
Jonathan Ross, the National Guard.
You have a bike brigade in Chicago? Yeah, that's where I got the idea. I think that video in Chicago, that dude was on like a KLX, and he got away from the ICE agents, and I was like, oh, all right. I like this idea. Obviously, I wouldn't be trying to do that, but because license plates. And here I could make myself I could be put in a database just by being around ICE. And
you worked for the government for 20 years, babe. You're already in a lot of databases.
Oh, almost had it, but I stopped from stabbing the dog. Saturday mornings, yeah.
I mean, I know when people say cool idea, you got to be safe. I know people mean that, but there's no safe way to resist an authoritarian regime.
I've been stewing on these ideas for a bit now. Thank you. Well, shout out to Angela Parkrose Permaculture, but this concept of non-peaceful does not equal non-violent. And sometimes disruptive, but still non-violent, is not very peaceful.
But also, there's no guarantee that they will be non-violent. the regime that you are resisting. If you go out and resist, like, there's a risk.
There's another reporting with more details with, verification they've seen a video. That's, like I said, there's no doubt that this probably happened. It's going to be, they're blinding people, they're gassing babies. They're celebrating like federal courts that overruled them being reined in by like that little short douche, Greg, whatever his name is, going out and tossing like green gas canisters at people for nothing. Like what? Like, I can't believe people are still behind this, but my dad's one of them. So here we are.
Most people are not still behind it.
Most never were
just
behind
not
it.
actually organized.
Most never were. Come on. He was elected without the popular. No, I guess he did have the popular vote, but barely this time, right?
I thought he was elected both times without the popular vote.
I don't recall the details. I mean, the saying the popular vote, that's still just of those that voted, but it's still equated to only 70-something million people. That's not a third of the country even.
Right. And now he doesn't have most of them.
And now he's
either.
Lost a large portion of those.
Especially with ICE.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another one that said I think he had the 50-point-something% maybe, but I'm pretty sure he had barely the.
He did actually have those votes. Yes, there's been no legitimate proof of election fraud.
And
at any significant level.
Yeah, there was less turnout than there was during the 2020 election, and people thought protest votes were a good way to be like, yeah, we don't like the establishment Democrats because none of us like the establishment Democrats. But when you sit out, that means you just get the other guy. So here we are. Broncos are, the underdog story of the Broncos is cool. But either of them have a great story. So the year it was Seattle and...
Wait, is it going to be Seattle and Broncos again?
It could be. That's one of the two options. That's assuming Seattle wins. It's one of the potential options, but I like Seattle's chances. But anyway, so Seahawks Broncos was the year we started dating, so I still have visual memories of flirtatious notes of Go Broncos being left around places for me to see. But I would prefer to see...
It's a very serious captain fighting a war.
I would prefer to see the redemption arc of the Seahawks getting to play the Patriots and beat the snot out of them in the Super Bowl.
What's up, B?
Yeah, little love. Yeah, you got it? All right. Yes, little love. It's coming. I think Seattle is the best of the four remaining teams. Agreed. But the Rams have had Seattle's number in Seattle a number of times, so they're definitely not a team to overlook. I think the two best teams left in the NFL are playing in the NFC Championship tomorrow. And I just hope Seattle wins that one. Yeah, that dude wearing the SS looking clothes, as an ICE agent, ugh, just what a tool. Just what a tool. Yeah, I like the redemption arc of Seahawks Patriots because if they could excise that demon for me in my lifetime, that would just be nice. It would still not erase that loss, but it would be all right, at least 10 years later, they would go back and beat them. I'm excited to see what Bad Bunny does too. I normally tune out during the halftime show, don't really care, but I feel like Bad Bunny's going to try to he's going to do some push the button stuff, and I think it's going to be good. Yeah, I love that it's a Terp Vet hoodie. I suppose it's fairly obvious if you know the Terps or the Terrapins. I think ranked choice voting might be our only option. Because states can implement that at their level, and there's nothing that we can do to change these constitutionally mandated things. So the Electoral College, we're not going to get rid of. The things that the federal government and the Constitution have control over, we're not going to get 2/3 of the states to agree on changing things. So the only way we're going to address it is things that states can do, and one of them being ranked choice voting, I think is a strong option. I agree. I don't know that was Spanish either, but from what I've gathered from dancing, you don't need to understand the words to get with the beat,
Mr. Knitting Coat Lady can do some salsa dancing. He knows his basics. He knows how to tell the difference between bachata and merengue.
Oh, yeah, one sucks, the other doesn't. If only Brandon were listening out there somewhere, he would love that joke.
Hello from
occupied
Minnesota.
St. Paul. Well, thank you for being there, and I'm sure doing what you're doing. However, you're supporting and surviving is enough. Just hang in there. The day will come that all of these people they'll try to deny what they did, but we'll all remember. We'll all know.
My favorite is them wearing masks as though they're not all pulling a government paycheck.
Right.
Like,
yeah, we might not know, like, when was the dude wearing the mask ever the good guy? Ever. Like, oh.
But see, I don't even think they care about being the good guys anymore. Like, they know that they're evil. Like, they're dressing like SS officers on purpose.
Yeah.
They just think they're going to win, which is so silly.
They're using the language. They're going with the clothes. It's really like they're just going back. They're like, all right, let's just like go rewind The Handmaid's Tale. What did we miss? Or what was that other one where the wasn't there a Prime thing where the Nazis won, like The Last Castle or something like that?
And I feel like that's why the Weird campaign pissed them off so much. It's because like they know they're so much more significant than Weird. And that's why I'm like, people like me going out there to call ICE agents Hitler, they're not going to care. But like this 6'2" veteran looking at them and be like, what, you didn't have the balls to join the army and your penis is small? Like, they're going to care about that.
Man in the High Castle. There we go. Bubs? Who's Bubs, North Carolina? NC. Is that anyone we know, or just someone that's here contributing and is on my wavelength right now?
Yeah, and like same thing with him, like illegally putting his name up everywhere. I'm just like, y'all, we're gonna get to see his name ripped off the Kennedy Center.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see those, like the video of those big images of him, like over whatever it's over the Treasury or which buildings have them, like the big Kim Jong-un style. See them like
rip those
the video
down.
of those falling down in the wind. Like it's gonna be great when this like we've got to put in the work and we've got to build something better to make it worthwhile. But we've got some opportunities coming. We just have to continue to push back. Okay, and so this is a Heather Cox Richardson question for you,
focus
love.
on America. We now get to build.
The one on the left. Multiple reports
keep sharing
now
on our personal social media
of.
Well, it's like share the videos of what the administration was doing and people talking about it, and like share videos from Minnesota.
That's multiple reports of it,
No.
of ICE murdering people again.
I was just listening to Heather Cox Richardson, who was talking about like this thing of the judge, them being able to go in the house without a judge's warrant. Like that's very significant. Keep talking about that. Keep sharing people's takes on that, because like Americans are not going to put up with
your video
people
is really
being able to go into your home.
Is that the light? Is that a thing? Oh, it might be the streaming. Which network is your computer on?
I don't know.
Hey, little love, are you using the computer right now? Or using the TV, I mean?
It's on the upstairs one.
What?
Are you using the TV right now? Or are you on the virtual reality?
VR.
Can you turn off the TV?
I'm on the VR.
Is the TV on?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, you got it? All right, thanks. Now you can probably switch networks and see if that fixes it.
Yeah, and again, they're not trying for places like Texas. They're thinking we're going to get no pushback in places like Minneapolis. Well, guess what? They are. You know?
Yes, so let's talk about the Rose Garden there for a second. Thank you for the video thing. We'll see if we can do something about that. But let's fixing the Rose Garden, this concept of like putting it back, I feel like that's thinking too small. Instead of fixing the Rose Garden and having something that's honoring Jackie Kennedy, maybe we put in the Michelle Obama food garden and we actually grow food there that gets distributed to the communities. And then we're growing healthy food in places that otherwise that are otherwise in food apartheid areas, and we're giving out and we're using federal dollars to just do something good for a local community and having like a garden at the White House again. So I think instead of these concepts of trying to go back to what we had, be like, yeah, let's think about like honoring those things that we had, but moving forward in a better way. And there's creative enough people out there to do it. We just have to find them and elect them. But yeah, this I won't curse because you can probably get in trouble, but this freaking Rose Garden Club or whatever this paved over monstrosity is there, like, yeah, that just needs to go fast. For sure.
But it's almost like, and if you think about that, like at scale, right? Where it's like there was so much broken stuff in our country that now that he's just breaking all of it, you know, like we'll have those conversations. Like, why should the Rose Garden, you know, why should this be dedicated to this and not that, right? Like, we might get to do that.
Is that better?
At scale. We don't have to play by the old rules. We don't have to just let the Democrats be the old party just because we beat the fascists.
So definitely fix the broken things. The things that were broken to intentionally hurt people, we can fix those. But we can fix global SNAP benefit or SNAP benefits. We can fix child care. We can fix the Department of Education, FEMA, USA, and all these things. Yes, fix. But fix with an eye towards the future and improving. Like, we've got to think more along the lines of FDR, New Deal. Like, if we're going to fight out of this oppression that they're trying to hoist upon us, let's think big. Like, we're not going to build 120 like hydroelectric dams, but we need to be thinking towards the future and putting Americans to work in productive ways.
I am using my swords. My sword knitting needles. I'm just cursing.
But yeah,
right now.
So fix the things that they broke intentionally to hurt people, but fix them with an eye of making things better. Help the veterans. Yes, there's no reason that we should have the homeless problem that we have. Not just homeless veterans, just our homeless problems. Like, it costs us so much more to criminalize homelessness and put them in prisons than it would just cause to invest in helping the homelessness or the unhousing problem.
England did this under Queen Elizabeth I, and Brazil just did this in raising people out of poverty. And they made it illegal for local governments to let their people be hungry.
Build back better. I mean, he was trying. Like, he had his own faults for sure. But yeah, like we need to build back better. And we're not trying to make anything great again. We're just trying to invest in the future. We're trying to leave a better world for our kids than the one we came into. And right now we're failing at it. Yeah, we need to invest in the VA. And I think a big part of what we're seeing right now is actively undermining the faith and confidence in the U.S. military. So then they're justified in rolling back a lot of the benefits in the future. That's my own personal conspiracy theory. I've got no evidence to support that. Watch out. Who's that behind you?
But it is significant. Like, ever since like Afghanistan fell, I've been kind of like, well, the way that the population thinks about veterans could very much affect veterans and what is tolerated as benefits toward veterans.
The anti-hunger laws. How they enforce it? Was that your? Oh,
well, yeah, it's like they made it illegal for governments to allow people to go hungry. So you had to have a plan, like townships, whatever they were called in Elizabethan England, like had to have a plan for the indigent population and how they were going to handle that. And what ended up happening is it ended up really helping kickstart their industrial revolution, because grown children could go off to the cities knowing that their parents were going to be taken care of by like the town. And this is Brazil just pulled up all but 2 million people out of daily hunger, and got off the UN hunger map and blah, blah, blah. And part of it was this. You make it, it's the same as these Norwegian countries or these Scandinavian countries where children have rights and parents have responsibilities. And instead in the US, children have no rights and parents have all the rights, you know, and it's like, it's flipping it like that. Like you make it illegal for governments to let their people go hungry.
Ooh,
then the governments start not letting their people go hungry. And it turns out we could do it all along, especially in the richest country in the world.
Local law enforcement responding to ICE murders is a good thing. So I mean, not that good thing is always just a weird thing to say these days, but I'm glad the local law enforcement is trying to get out to protect and serve the population the way they're supposed to. Yes, we can fix hunger. We can fix poverty. We create. Maybe there's something a lot of people don't know, but we invest enough resources to create enough food to feed everybody on the planet already, just with what we have. Our challenges lie in losses within the supply system and then waste at the consumer level. So literally a third of what is grown and produced and given to consumers ends up in the trash, y'all. Like, we can fix these problems and we can fix them in our time. It just takes some determination, creativity, and a more leveling of the playing field. If we just need to get people to quit looking down on the people we're trying to help and view them as humans that have equal dignity and rights as everybody else, and then we can start attacking real problems. But right now, they've got us pretty well invested in this class war, or in the class divide has us well invested into a race war, which is unsustainable from a number of levels. So once we realize our real problem is with the 5% or 1%, however you want to break it down, 10% of the people that are hoarding all of the wealth and keeping it from the rest of the people being able to invest in their communities, then we can start making radical change, because we'll realize that we all have the power together. And as individuals, we are weak, but as a people, we are strong.
This is part of what I keep saying, and people keep saying that I'm trying to downplay the threat, and I'm not. I'm just trying to get people to understand that 350 million people, we cannot be controlled by force. We cannot be controlled by a civilian government. We cannot be controlled. We have the people to just march on our representatives and pull them limb from limb if we wanted.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of people that we have is extremely significant.
Yeah. Minneapolis just set records yesterday for the largest ever mass general strike, and they had tens of thousands of people all in their downtown, and now the response from the other side has been to murder another one of their citizens. They
can't keep it going though, and that's why you're seeing things like these murders really and this desperation, and it's like they can't win. It's giving cult leader precipitating their own apocalypse. But I'm not the only one saying this. Like, Heather Cox Richardson the other day was like, I was just sitting there like, what is their end game? You know, like, they don't have the numbers to do what they want to do. They don't have the skill or the power to do what they want to do.
Yeah. You can't keep people happy in their own poverty. Like, it's not gonna work.
And this is another cult thing too, where it's like, it's not ultimately, I think it's not fun to be a cult leader at all. Because like imagine having to be the dark therapist for 10,000 people, in this case 350 million people.
Leo is the general term for law enforcement officer. Just for anyone who doesn't actually know, reports of, okay, yeah, I believe that. Aaron Parnas is looking into it. That makes sense. He's, I mean, say what you will about him. He's generally one of the first ones out there to be reporting on things fairly accurately. When's your Iowa City thing?
July?
July. There you go. July.
Probably.
He's got hustle.
That's what I'm looking at.
I
haven't started
yeah.
plans yet.
I have driven across this country probably as much as anybody that's not a truck driver. Like I have driven across not just this country, like North America. I have driven across it in more various ways than most people would ever fathom. And it is so big, and there are so many areas that are so remote that there is absolutely no way you could ever hope to control the entirety of the territory. Like you're outside your mind. You just thinking you could defend and control the Canadian border by itself. Like the only reason people like have these like this border conversation is because they think the only border that would ever have to be defended is the southern border, which is only half the length of the northern border, and it doesn't have the Great Lakes as a large part of it. Like, God, people are just, I mean, people are relegated to the lack of education that our failed education system has provided them. Which is one of the things we need to invest heavily in.
People just don't know about large-scale logistics generally. If this hasn't been like our job was to be military planners, so like we know how to look at things from this huge scale. You know, somebody asked me the other day, like, okay, well, if they somehow justify it and the U.S. military starts getting used against the population, what would that look like? I'm like, it would look like Afghanistan, and that didn't go well for us.
Yeah. Yeah, the Great Lakes
looked like
are
Afghanistan,
many
and we would
oceans.
see
Like,
the American insurgency be born.
like if they would have to invest like all of the Coast Guard's resources if it's just trying to shut down the borders that are the Great Lakes. Like it's yeah.
That's another misconception people have. Like, oh, they're going to shut the borders. You can't shut the borders of America. If you could, we wouldn't have a problem with illegal immigration if our overlords wanted to shut the borders.
Yes. Like we need somebody brave enough running for office with I don't want to say I was about to say the charisma.
So I'm not going to say charisma sitting next to my wife.
So I've got to come up with a better term, but we need a Zoran Mamdani type at the national level that can come in and be like, no, not only do I hate what's happening, but all of that money we invested into making ICE like the 13th largest military force on the planet is all just getting rolled into public education. Like it's going all into the Department of Education. And it's all been allocated already. So we're just taking it all. We're just rechanneling it. And we need more people we need more candidates. But I think it's not Newsom. No, like these.
Look how space traveling.
These already rich, these already established Democrats, I don't think are going to be the solution. I think I'm very much against the one that represents us in our district. But I think we have to take maybe we take one fight at a time. Primaries are important. Oh, sorry. She wants to.
You asked about, is Trump just chaotically doing all of this to stay out of jail? Like, I think it's much, much bigger than that. I think Trump wants to be the most talked about person in the world. I think he wants to be the most important person in history. And I think, unfortunately, he's getting it. He's destroying the world order that has kept us out of world wars. He's doing crazy shit. He's going to be talked about for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Every time it gets more serious, that's what I think as like a sociologist and a historian. And I'm just like, fuck, he's gonna like, I really wanted his legacy to just be mockery and failure, but he enjoys being seen as the worst of the worst. And that's what he wants. He wants his name to go down in history as one of the most talked about men, and he's going to get it.
predictions for 2028. I don't know how to say this nicely, but I don't think anybody could accurately predict what happens 3 days from now, and asking for somebody what they think what's going to happen in 2028 is just asking to be told a story.
Yeah, we heard
Like,
ICE murdered another person. You did this the first time.
Aliens might attack. I think we might discover. I'm sorry, that's just being mocking. I'm not going to do that. I hope we have good, strong candidates that move themselves to the front, that run on grand ideas with reasonable ideas that are rooted in taxation of the wealthy. And I think that kind of populist agenda would be an uphill battle, for sure. It would be an uphill battle, but I think coming out of the darkness that we're going to be coming out of, it might stand a chance. So I don't know if that's a Pete Buttigieg that is running on a semi-populist platform that says, like, we can be better, we can do better, we can tax wealthy people, and this is what we can do with the money. Or if I'm confident it's not a second Kamala Harris candidacy. But I think we're going to see probably one of the most expensive primaries we've ever seen again. And I don't think that's going to be for the best. I wish Fetterman would resign, is what I'll say. I think Mark Kelly is definitely positioning himself to be a possible candidate. But, I mean, you've heard the guy talk, right?
Like, very good.
No. I love the backstory, but I didn't even think it was strong enough for him to be the vice presidential candidate with Kamala Harris. Maybe with 3 years to clarify his message and the platform that he was hoisted on him by Keg's breath. I mean, outside chance. I definitely think he'll be involved in the primary. But I think the other thing that we need somebody in there willing to say and say it out loud is, like, picking up the Bernie message or trying to get the burn back in people and getting Bernie Sanders, specifically his endorsement of the real idea of getting unions back behind the working people, not just the leadership of the unions, but the actual body of the unions back behind Democratic candidates. Through a message of, no, we're going to tax people. We're going to try to get back. We're going to try to get back to these real pensions that were promised. We're going to try to get back to helping the working people. We're going to try to get money out of politics. We're going to try to pack the Supreme Court. We're going to try to do these radical things that reestablish the balance of power, for one, and then also move us into the future. We need a candidate who can say that in a legitimate way, say it with reason behind it and with a real plan, but also somebody who can say it in an Obama way. How do you say that? Like, in a way that, like, just people enjoy. Yeah, we need a Yoda.
It's like the person needs to have charisma.
I like Jamie
charisma is
Raskin.
not always a dark, evil tool if you don't use it that way. But, like, the person needs to have enough charisma to lead.
Yeah, see, I like Jamie Raskin. I don't think he's the guy. I like AOC. I don't like she's the person yet. She's working on it, but she also carries a lot of baggage. Like, I hate to be pragmatic, if you will. Jasmine Crockett, also great, but gonna have trouble convincing a large portion of the electorate. But I think she's part of our future for sure. Yeah, Pete Buttigieg seems like the most likely. Like, if I were to choose 6 months ago, now, and also a year from now, at least 2 of those 3 would be saying Pete Buttigieg would be my choice. Mark Kelly, also a strong candidate, but just, I hate this concept of feeling like we have to go back to an old white guy to win. Like, that just feels awful. And I don't know that that's the right solution.
And we don't. We just have to actually vote. You know, this is like in the world of books, right? Well, there'll be like, oh, this is niche. You know, like a Black woman's story is niche. It's not niche if white women go out and buy it. When white women went out in huge numbers and bought Joy Luck Club, that was the first book by an Asian American author ever to go mainstream. And all of a sudden, it became a story about mothers and daughters in general, right? So this is another thing, white women. It's like we need to support these minority things, because as soon as we support it, it's not niche. If white women show up in numbers, we bring the America with us. And that's our responsibility. If we had showed up in numbers for Black Lives Matter, Donald Trump probably would not be the president. I am responsible for that.
Well, these things are true. Someone asked the question, would I vote for Kamala Harris again? If she were the candidate, 100%, no problem. Two things to add to that, though, is one, I probably wouldn't vote for her in a primary. Like, depending on who the other candidates were, but I also live in a state where, as an independent, I don't get to vote in primaries. So I'm stuck at the, what's the word? At the mercy. I'm at the mercy of the parties, which, yeah, I won't vote for Republican. I can't imagine ever again in my lifetime, but definitely not for the foreseeable future. I would love to see an independent with a chance, like, but it would be a challenging choice to make, because I wouldn't want to undercut the candidate with a real chance to win. So I hope we can get a consolidated umbrella this time that says, no, we're not going to put forward an independent candidate that's trying to run against the Democratic candidate for now, because we see the bigger picture, like the Bernie versus Hillary problem that sent us down this path. Like, we can't repeat that. So short answer, yes, I would vote for her in a general election where I was able to vote for her. No, I don't think I'd vote for her in a primary, though. Where else were we? Heads up, people in South Carolina. Oh, yeah. I need to watch out for. Really? Please do not light off your fire pit today. I didn't realize it was so dry. Like, I thought everyone was getting ready for ice and rain. Anyway. Where was I? What was I talking about? That dude riding his dirt bike in Chicago? We can go back to that. Yeah, ICE is still doing ICE things. Let's hope more than one of them slip on the in the weather.
Slip on the ice.
So, but I think so. Let's get candidates.
Explain to people
again.
the training of why you would never see a soldier slip on the ice like that, and it's like
it is an acquired skill, but they're getting so many like racist
veterans,
white boys that have never walked on the ice before.
As veterans, right? When we showed up to the last veteran protest in DC, we formed up about 400 people that had never met before, who'd been out of the military for years to decades, right? And we formed up in a square and we all marched for half a mile, and we didn't fall. We didn't fall. And you know what we do when there's anything in the road, when there's anything to be concerned with, the first person who sees it raises up their hand, and then the next person does it. And we pass that signal all the way down. And we did that with all the curbs we passed, and nobody fell down. And also we're always within elbows length or arm's length of each other when we're on missions, so we can snatch you up. ICE doesn't have the training.
So I'm getting more of my comments from this side right now than this side. I think this side is TikTok.
TikTok
maybe.
is more talkative, yes.
People are talking about James Tallarico on that side. I like him. I think he's a really good communicator. I think he's very much a Pete Buttigieg type. I think he's still young, but I think he's got a very bright future. But again, this still feels like, two great candidates on the Democratic side, but you definitely run the risk of splitting some of the electorate. So I would really like to see, like, I thought Colin Allred had a good chance of taking that seat from what's that fat jerk that's hiding in Florida right now while Texas is getting hammered.
Ted Cruz?
That's the one. I hoped Allred could beat him, but he here we are. But I still
Also,
think that's
isn't it interesting that it was
strong one for the
national
future.
news that everyone hated Jasmine Crockett for supporting Israel, but when her opponent, the white man, came out and said, "Yeah, I support Israel," we didn't hear anything.
There you go.
Yes, people need to examine their racism.
And also, people were talking about McConnell, which, if you believe in a hell, he'll definitely be burning there. If you believe the way I do, you're just like ruining the fact that he gets to stew in the nothingness that is death eventually. But eventually he'll be gone. I hope people vote for Amy McGrath, I believe is her name, is running to replace him, since he's not running finally, now that he's done all of the damage he can do. A Navy veteran, fighter pilot, if I'm not mistaken.
We've been supporting Amy McGrath since 2018,
Yeah.
so I'm excited to give money to her again and see her run again.
So yeah, get behind it, everyone in Kentucky. Yeah, Booker. We were talking about Cory Booker before. Like, something feels fake. I don't know what it is. His attempt at authenticity feels fake. He just feels like a slightly better spoken version of Mr. Arm Language. Gosh, the one, dude in the house, Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries. But I don't buy it. And I think he's been a part of the establishment for a long time. And I just don't trust Cory Booker in the long run. But I think he'll definitely be throwing his hat in the ring early. And I think so we could talk about that too. I think a big way to stem off a lot of the damage that will come in after these midterms is for a lot of people to throw their hats in right away, like steal the spotlight really fast.
How long does it take the VR to charge?
I don't know. Shouldn't take too long.
Like how long?
30 minutes maybe. I'm sorry. I thought I would just explain why I don't trust him. He comes off as like every interaction I see from him feels too rehearsrsed. So I don't feel like we're getting authenticity from him. And if I'm not getting authenticity, then I don't know what I'm going to get in the long run.
Whoa, my brain hurts.
On
my head.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we'll see. Maybe, I mean, all of these people, when they become candidates in the Democratic primary in probably early 2027, we're going to start to see a lot more of them. Is Graham Platt still endorsed by Bernie Sanders? That's a good question. I don't know. We were having this conversation yesterday. One of us feels as though Graham Plattner has a lot of baggage that he's not answering for well enough to be trusted. And that's probably the right approach to take. The one of us is more willing to assume risk, thinks those are reasonable risks to assume compared to his competition for the seat that he is seeking. However, one, we don't get to vote in Maine. Two, we are staying financially out of that and letting Mainers decide for themselves what they think. I like him better than all of his contenders for that seat. Newsom is really well spoken and can memorize facts and regurgitate data in a really impressive way on a debate stage. I don't think he's willing to come in and tax the rich the way we want to see done. I think he's again, we're not going to get what we see candidate. I think Kamala was much more what we get is what we saw. I'm met on Newsom as well. I think he's doing a lot to not impede the rich right now. Like, he could be doing damage to the rich at the state level.
The rich. Like,
yeah,
he is
he's a rich
billionaire.
guy. Is he a billionaire?
That's what I heard.
I don't know. He comes from money as well. So yeah, like, I just don't know that we get there by trusting the people that have benefited from this much, or from the system this much. Like, how much can we really question, or how much can we really trust they're going to come in and change the system to benefit the rest of us? Like, it's time for a Festivus, That's where I'm at. Rokana, I don't actually know a lot about. I see a lot of his sound bites. I probably need to study more there, but I need to, like, honestly, like, talking about it right now just feels like shouting into the wind because, see, there's a mainer right there. Like, those concerns I feel like are valid concerns. I feel like he should answer questions in a more straightforward way for a lot of things that he's been willing to put on his body. But I get where you're at. I watched this fireside chat the other day. Like, I think he's saying a lot of the right things, and he feels to me like he's saying them in a much more authentic way than anybody else has. Isn't Janet Mills like 80 though? Like, really? Are we still like we really, like, it's time for new, younger leadership that is like mobile. Like these people that keep ending up in nursing homes and not being able to exercise their vote in their seat, like it's just getting to be too much. Like, I'm not trying to be ageist. Like, I really don't want to come off as saying an 80-year-old can't do the job. I'm just saying at some point maybe they should enjoy their twilight years and let a younger person with a little more stamina go have that role, and like make it known that they're always willing to answer their phone if advice is needed. Like we need more George Washingtons out there that say, no, it's time to give up the power. Like, I don't want to hold on to it anymore. It's better for me to pass this power along than I want to hold on to this until I effing die. So like, Janet Mills may be great. Maybe she's real. Maybe she's authentic. Maybe she has the people's voice. She's still 80. I guess that is ageist of me. I'm sorry. I'll apologize for it. I just think that somebody else would be better.
Well, but like the point is, do they have the stamina for it? Like, no. And yeah, you do. Elder people do have a lot of information. Mentor.
Like,
I don't mentor the new people.
Yeah, I don't want to discount experience as somebody who relied heavily on experience for all of the value that I had in my role as an Army aviator. Like, all of that came from hard-earned experience.
Yeah, but babe, if you
I gained, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish this. I was dang. Now you interrupted me. I gained all of everything I knew and made me great at my job was because I had significant experience but still had the same mental capacity, stamina, and faculties, hand-eye coordination, and everything to use all of those skills at the highest level. And I wouldn't have had those still at 80 years old. But if I were planning a very complex mission, I would still reach out to the people who don't even actively fly very often anymore. Or if they fly, they just do it to like teach people the very basics, but they still have a lot of good expertise that I love to lean on. And those are the people that you need to be able to call. So maybe Janet Mills would be better off for her state saying, you know what, y'all, I get that you want new, younger leadership in our state. So what I'm going to do is bow out to give Graham Plattner a better chance. I'm going to endorse him as a candidate and say, Graham, if you ever have a question or ever need help or ever want to bounce some ideas off what you think is better for the people, give me a call. But no, instead, she would rather go from being the governor to a senator at 80 years old. Like, that just it comes off as selfish. It is selfish.
Yeah. Even if there's no people you trust, well, you're going to be dead soon. Teach. Like, put someone else in there and shadow them and help them. Don't just hang on to it until you're gone and everybody's screwed.
Yeah. When actually, I had to reach out to a friend of mine. We'll call him a friend of mine, or a mentor of mine in some ways. But when I was a senior guy getting ready to leave, and I had someone reach out to me for a recommendation to become a pilot. I'm sorry. So an enlisted person trying to become an Army pilot asked for my help to become a pilot. And I said, sure. So I reached out to the most senior guy I knew who had helped the most people to do it. And I said, hey, how do you choose the people that you write these things for? He said, it's easy. I just choose people who I think I would do best in replacing me. Like, so find somebody that you want to replace you, and then do your best at making them the best replacement for you that you can, and then get the hell out of the way. And if you haven't already called both the Senate Minority Leader and House Minority Leader and told them that they have failed in the opportunity to lead, so it is time to now get out of the way, you should. I do it on a regular basis, because if there's one thing I know, you either need to lead or be the F out of the way. And right now, neither of them are leading. Do you know a pilot named Larson? I think more than one pilot named Larson. If you give me more context, I could maybe answer that better. Nolan Larson. Nope. Can't say that I do. Fort Carson. Nope. Never was stationed there. And also been retired for 5 years. So unless he's like a very senior Army aviator, like the chances that I know them in the military are getting slimmer and slimmer. It's crazy to think about that now. Who, like, my peers have become more mom and dad vids. Well, you're welcome. But anyway, yeah, I want them to get out of the way. I wonder who talked her into candidate for senator. That seems very much like a Chuck Schumer type move. He needed an established Democrat that would just go along with the vote, not challenge him on anything. And we need more challengers that still understand how to be part of a team, but understand how to push a team to be a part of a team that pushes it to be its greatest, and not just to roll over to be part of the team. And right now, I think Chuck Schumer only wants people that roll over to be part of the team. That one's a text message. Sorry, distracted by a different message.
Texting me on Saturday.
V. It was in regards to current events. Schumer has failed as a leader. Like, I don't know how he has managed to keep his job for as long as he has. But a totally failed leader who just needs to be out of the way. But you all are getting some options. I think he's being primaried, right? Or is AOC still just considering a primary? Like, I think she would have an easy time unseating him. Like, and I think that would be a good next step for her, would be senator to continue to build her resume for the future. And I think she'd have a good shot. There's a lot of bad senators out there. I feel like we elected one in the state of Maryland who is just kind of she's a junior senator for sure, but she is not being very vocal. She's not using her power to do anything of benefit for our state. Our other senator is using his voice, and I think he's also trying to see if he might be able to consider a run for president in the future. We'll see. The video is bad. Don't watch it. Ooh,
But also, I will say, one senator is a white man and one senator is a black woman, and they have a different amount of power in their voices too.
From the voice of reason, y'all. That's why balance of opinions is important. We get to have a lot of these conversations.
We have not seen the
haven't
video
seen
yet.
the videos yet.
Talking to you
the facts, I'm sure, are going to speak for themselves. That will be misreported by the mass media, and then we'll get the details that will come up from everybody else, and we'll get outraged about it. And again, my representative in Congress will just say something about affordability crisis, which is true. But when you base that, your entire picture, your entire campaign and image around affordability crisis, given the current state of the union, like, you're living with your head in the sand.
Head in the sand.
Excuse me, I'm gonna go get some more coffee. Have a day.
Right. Have a day. Yeah. If there's any left, get me some.
Who did something to the floor and made it slippery? Did you spray it with something to clean it?
I did not spray the floor with anything. Yeah, Dustin, it is censorship. I have people on here to mute the people that I don't want to talk to. That's what it is. This is my page. This is my business. I reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Thanks for pointing out how great my mods are.
Although I see they're allowed to refuse service, and like you don't have to let them use facilities, but you can't deny them entry to a facility that's otherwise open to the public. No, I'm listening.
People, y'all act like I'm some like public benefit. I'm not the news. I'm not a journalist. I'm a person, and this is my business. So I can manage. Y'all try this with me every single time I turn off comments on a video. I'm like, oh, you can't turn off. Yes, I can. When I'm done having that conversation, I turn the comments off. Look at how that works. I'm not a leader of this group. Censorship comes from leaders of groups, people with power. I don't have any power over you.
Nice.
Got the ice birder. When y'all ask me when I say this is my human network, this is what I mean. I just talk to 500,000 people every day, and they tell me what's happening in the country. It's always at Dustin. I do not think they have voiced presidential hopes. I mean, they're only Congress people. Usually you need a more national position than that. But, you know, I mean, Donald Trump's been the president twice, so. But yeah, I like them. I don't, AOC's 36. Like, she's probably also isn't the best candidate for president, just like I have more military experience than the Secretary of Defense, and I'm not the best candidate for Secretary of Defense. Director of National Intelligence. That's come on.
You gotta be a Russian asset for that job.
How do you know I'm not? Look how Russian I look. Whew.
What?
Oh, just me burning myself again. Hopefully not third-degree burns this time. These faces include the host. It's so funny, these guys. They'll just be like, citation. I'll be like, nope, I have a rule and I don't give citations. They're just like, you can't. Yeah, I can. You don't have to like it. But nobody recruited you and asked you to be here.
Can you scooch to the other seat, trade sides with me? So I can be up and down making breakfast?
Sure.
Thanks.
Right. This is where we're at now.
Might want to move those, not set it on there. Yeah, she's still growing. She's still learning, for sure. Oh, there's that sound of that bacon cooking. Swedish media is on top of things, huh? There was something y'all were talking about that I wanted to add on. Yes, the video is apparently public and disturbing. That's unfortunate to organize. We need, we're going to need radical candidates, but radical candidates with the appropriate level experience, expertise, and as much as I hate to say it, likability, or just electability, or what did the Macmillan call it? Was camera readiness, whatever you're going to call it.
TV ready. I'm like, yeah, you're TV ready. Yes. Not at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I know it's almost noon.
I don't know when it starts to be.
We will get those details soon, little love.
Dad, I
Yeah.
want to use the new bag that you got me.
That's a cool one. Sounds like a great mistake. My desired candidate, like I was talking about this earlier, like if I had to choose one right now out of the candidates I know, I would say Pete Buttigieg. I like the concept of Mark Kelly, and I know for certain he's got no major bag. Well, I am 90% sure that he doesn't have any baggage you got to worry about. Like, I think you can never say I know for sure about a white dude that came from the military, or just a dude out of the military at all. But you know, I think we need to consider some other candidates that might be strong communicators too, like the Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. I like Alyssa Slotkin, although she's new to her Senate seat, so I think maybe she should stay there for a while. But I think Alyssa Slotkin is a good, strong candidate for the future. Who else? Like, I don't know. I don't like Newsom. I don't want it to be Gavin Newsom. I think he stands a good chance of going a long way in a primary, and if he won the primary, I would vote for him for sure. But I would prefer it not be him as a candidate. Yeah, I want to hear more of what they have to say. I like James Tallarico, but again, I think let's see what he does in the Senate. Let's see. JB Pritzker's a billionaire. Like, is he really gonna be for us? Is he gonna be for the little guy? For Senate in Texas, sure. Like, I think he would only do good things in that seat. I don't know who. I think Jasmine Crockett announced first, and I think that would have been a good opportunity for him to recognize his privilege and be like, okay, I'll chill, and maybe wait to try to go after Cruz in the next go around, because it's not Ted Cruz that's up for re-election this time, right? I don't know who the other one is in Texas. Cornyn? Is it Cornyn from Texas, maybe? I don't remember. Melanie Stansberry. I don't actually know who that one is. Cornyn is the other one in Texas. Thank you. I mean, Pritzker is... Sure, he's continually seeming like he's doing the right things. Maybe he's using his money as an insulator to keep it to say, like, no, I'm not influenced by corporate interests. But, I mean, I don't know. He is still a billionaire. Maybe if he came out and as part of it, the first thing he said, when I'm running for president, I'm also going to donate every bit of wealth I have that's over $100 million. I'd be like, oh, this dude is serious. Like, all right, let's see what he's going to do with that. Like, I'm going to solve world hunger by donating my $5 billion, or I'm going to fix the homeless problem in the United States with $5 billion of my own money. If he made a radical move, he can maybe convince me he's not just a typical billionaire. Cool. But you're gonna have to do something pretty radical.
Okay, I have a question for the audience. So I'm gonna glue this onto the necklace, and then there's gonna be a bunch of butterflies. So do I want it centered, or do I want it like off centered? Please give me advice. Thank you. Oh, okay. So it's going to be like this, and I'm going to put this flower on, and then there's going to be butterflies. So do I want it center, or do I want it off center? I always tend to go off center, but this time I'm thinking center for some reason. So I'm going to let the crowd decide. The wisdom of crowds instead of the delusion of crowds. Everyone's going off center, so that makes the most sense, because there's going to be like a cluster of butterflies on it. So if it's center, it's just too much. Lest we forget, we're doing crafts here, okay? It's very important. Hey, making art in times of tyranny is very important.
It's the best.
People always ask me, they're like, how do you do with all these topics? I'm like, yo, I also craft for like 6 or 7 hours every day, probably. Like, there's so much crafts.
It's the best way to spend a really cold Saturday morning is inside drinking hot coffee, making bacon and sausage, right? Can I help you?
Where's the? Oh. You're good.
Okay.
If you're new, we made these earrings earlier out of jewelry bags. There's red.
You got a lot of inputs on that.
Blue. Everyone's like, off center, to the left.
I don't know what is it with people that don't like symmetry? You know, they're crazy.
Because it's not natural. It looks weird.
Okay, there we go. Cindy, that's a good point. I forgot about Andy Bashir and Josh Shapiro. If I'm not mistaken, one of them is
Pull that plug out again.
One of them is very pro vouchers, school vouchers. So I don't like this idea of stealing money out of the public school system. I think that's Andy Bashir. And one of them is pretty pro-Israel without being willing to levy much criticism. So I don't know. See? Oh, wait. See, not Andy. At Cindy Bashir is Bashir is the governor. I like him, but not so much for president. Yeah, see? So both of them, I think, like Andy is for public schools. Okay, maybe I thought it was maybe Shapiro that was pro vouchers then. No, I want heavy investment in teachers. I think heavy investment in teachers and updating schools is the strongest way that we can invest in our future.
We've not seen the video out of Minnesota yet, and we've been on here, so we've heard about it from folks. Teachers should be paid. Kids need support at home. There's just so much that needs to be done. Like, it's not just teachers being paid, but definitely you need to pay teachers so much better. Shapiro will be another Fetterman. I've heard that. Textbooks definitely need to be revamped. We got to get off this system. See, this is the kind of new America we can imagine. We've got to get off this system where Texas gets to dictate what all the states learn about, because that's who does textbooks. Like, the government can fund textbooks, you know, like. Speaking of textbooks, I'm probably going to do a sociology class on cults and coercive control, and pitch it to regular universities, but then I'm definitely also going to do it as an online course, so stay tuned. So stay tuned. Oops. All right. This necklace is funky, so we gotta get it right. How are we gonna do this, yo? That's what we'll do. I think ICE is ramping up. Like, this is exactly what I've been saying, what Amanda Nelson's been saying, what Heather Cox Richardson's been saying. It's like, we're expecting it to get worse. They're like, what do you mean by worse? Like, imagine during the civil rights movement, the Klan was in charge of the government. That's what we expect. This is absolutely expected violence. And there's only so much that they can get away with before there will likely be some sort of mass tipping point. If 8% of people stand up, the American military is overwhelmed. And currently, the American military is not getting involved. So imagine that you don't even need but 3 or 4% of people to stand up to the freaking government that thinks they can do anything by force in this country, which is just silly koalas. No, I don't think anybody should be trying to leave. Well, I mean, I think trying to leave is a personal decision. I think what you should take into account is that everywhere in the world is trending right-wing populist. And that what happens in America is going to affect the globe. And also that 340 million people can't leave, almost half of whom are non-white. So we have to figure this out for everyone. And I do very heavily mean white America in that we have to figure it out. I like koalas too. Although, when I was growing up, we had this video that we were allowed to watch, and I don't know what it is, but she would sing the song. She'd be like, koalas, koalas, I really hate koalas. So I think that a lot whenever people are talking about koalas. If you grew up at the same cult in the same time as me, you might know what I'm talking about. I'm not a real millennial because I don't have any millennial. See, and silly koalas worked well because people, like everyone falls for the stuff and gets confused and whatever. And it's like, it's fine, but it is silly. People came back from one of the things, I think it was the Qatar Air Base thing. And they're like, ma'am, I was a silly koala. I'm like, it's okay. We all do it sometimes. Okay, bye. It's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Hua. Freedom of speech is a guarantee to you from your government. I'm not your government. Have a day. I'm betting you also decide who gets to be in your house. Yeah. The self-righteousness is so fun.
Bacon. What are we all talking about here? Curating the YouTube algorithm. That's good. Mine's been getting wonky. Y'all notice they're getting a little wonky lately?
YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Starting to feed a lot more of the
I don't spend enough time watching
both sidesism, if you will. We can discuss, can Congress hold body in contempt for not showing? I mean, Congress's method of holding somebody in contempt is referring charges to the Department of Justice.
Congress could also remove the president if they wanted to. Oh, thanks.
Congress has no method to affect anything other than referring it to the DOJ. So they could impeach her.
Yes, B.
What time does the party start?
OMG. I do not know, and I can't check right now.
You know, I was just thinking of that as I stepped away. What do I think of Westmore? I don't have a text. Oh, nice. You're already ready?
Oh, I'm ready to go at like 30.
Yeah. You know what is something that you still need to do?
Yeah.
Tomar baño.
Yeah.
Clean your bathroom.
Take a shower.
That too.
That's what that was.
That
Anyway, Westmore. I was going to talk about Westmore for a second. He's my governor. I think he's doing a fine job. I appreciate that he led the charge for redistricting. Sorry.
Dad, how many pieces of bacon can I have?
You may have. How many are you going to take a piece of sausage too?
Yeah.
Then one.
Oh, can you bring me some?
That doesn't seem like the point. All right,
Just bacon, not sausage.
Fine. Nope. Nope, that's still not right. There we go. Sorry, knocked everything over. Yeah, y'all fell. That was my bad. I kicked a cord. Wes Moore, I think, is doing a fine job. I appreciate that he took on the redistricting fight here in Maryland when the president of our Senate kind of caved. And then said he wasn't going to do it. So I'm glad that we're still pursuing redistricting here in Maryland. With that said, his attempts to balance a budget have been very willing to cut money out of the public school system. And I feel like our public school systems are already hurting pretty badly. So I hate that one of his first places that he's willing to go is cutting that money. I think maybe we can make harder choices elsewhere first, but it does show his willingness to go along to make to just get what he can. I get it, but I feel like he's got enough of majorities that he could try to do more. I thought the bad guy gave. Anyway, Anthony Aguilera running for office in Tennessee. I don't know, but sure, run for offices in Tennessee. Try to unseat people. I use my phone number to call representatives, specifically those that represent Tennessee in the Middle Tennessee, because they see it on the caller ID and go, "Oh, local."
That's funny. I haven't thought about calling Arizona, but I should probably do that.
So, but yeah, any people that we have that we can find that seem to have integrity and the moral compass, like, sure, let's go vote for them.
And y'all, most Republicans were already upset about ICE. So this next escalation, additional murder, like, it's only getting worse for them. Oh, look, someone signed up for my Hollywood event. It's giving Cleopatra. Turn that into space travel somehow. Can you do this one now?
You can end
while we have it all out.
Oh, why didn't I do both at the same time?
I thought you were trying to work on one at a time.
Didn't know there were two that needed fixing.
Sorry, I thought you did.
Anywho,
high-speed rail system, be great to have healthcare. You know, there's all these things we can work on. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
How about freedom and justice for all would be like cool. If we could start there. Yeah. If we win, we get to choose what the future looks like. It's the best part of winning.
It's very like, I know we're trying not to support Disney now, but like watch or listen to like the first parts of Hamilton, because this is what they're talking about. It's like the fear and the crazy, but also the energy of like when you're making change, sometimes you get to make really big change. And I'm not throwing away my shot. We're definitely going to perform the musical at the White House when we have fixed these things.
We fix these things and have elected a president that would value it. And you're off and running.
Yep.
Need a carny. Was that good? I mean, we just drove across Canada and saw quite a few fuck carny signs. Like, I get it. Like, he seemed like he's well spoken. I loved his speech at Davos. But is he that good? I don't know. He did win, but would he have won if we hadn't elected Trump? I guess is my question. It seemed like he wasn't going to win until we elected a dictator, and that gave him much more of a leg up than he otherwise had.
Interesting. At the Kennedy Center. Yeah. Well, I was working on it yesterday. We got a new concept that we're not going to try to actually have 16 people in the ensemble because that's just too many. So we're going to have like Jim Jones will come out, but then he'll just leave a giant crochet amigurumi of Kool-Aid on the chessboard and then become a different character. So it's really like 5 or 6 characters playing everyone, which also means not only do I get to play St. Paul, but I also get to play Joseph Smith, Jim Jones, Teal Swan, and Donald Trump.
And definitely Canada's not immune to the fast rise of right-wing populism that we're seeing globally. Like, it would be naive to think otherwise. You're better positioned to fight it than, say, we are here in the U.S. But yeah, y'all are gonna have to work to keep Carney in power and in making these deals. But like, as long as we keep feeding you Donald Trump rhetoric, like, he's pretty good. Like,
this is who you think it is. This is Mr. Knitting Cult Lady, Mr. Tom Young. If you only know him from the book, you see how swoony he is. I did not lie.
I forgot to tell you the story from yesterday. So I don't think they follow you on YouTube because they just like, maybe they found out about it later or after the fact. But I met these three ladies while I was out yesterday. And I was chatting with them like, oh, like I'm sorry, this would be weird, but you're Tom, right? Like, yep, that's me. Like, okay, we live across from you, so they live right across the way over here somewhere. And they're like, we see you and like yada yada yada, and we know your wife and the book event and this and that. I was like, all right, cool. And they're like, yeah. And we saw you the morning after the election, and it was really kind of cathartic for us to see you like lose your shit on the sign and to start screaming painfully, like you were doing it for all of us. I was like, oh, all right. I was wondering if anybody ever saw that.
Tell them that story. Now you have to tell that story.
I mean, that was pretty self-explanatory. The day after the election, I went out and pulled our Veterans for Harris Walls sign out of the yard and very angrily was screaming and slamming it against a fence to break it down small enough to fit in the trash can. I nearly dislocated both of my thumbs, but fortunately I did not. They did hurt for a good week though. So anyway, some neighbors across the street saw that, but appreciated it. So that was, I think, there was Mary, there was Aaron, and there was Treaty. And 2 of them were willing to help me out with my master's project.
Nice. This is how we organize.
Heard about the video, have not seen it. What's happening on this side?
I thought you were talking about the Trump guy's sign. Which would be a different story.
I would love to go rip. That was a different story. That was I made a guy quit putting his signs in his yard because every day I'd walk by, I'd just tear him up out of his yard and toss him towards his front door. Eventually, they came out of the front yard and ended up in his windows. So now I can't affect it without it being vandalism. Allegedly. I'll own up to most of my actions. I get the yard I don't know. I think yard signs are common here as part of our cultish like team version of politics that we have, which I don't appreciate and I don't like. But it's also one of the few ways that they have, or one of the common ways they have to provide investment and donate money to the organizations. I wouldn't say that too loud. People will hear you.
I like
frozen
water. I like frozen water.
There you go.
Frozen water. Frozen water. Frozen water.
This is Knitting Cult Baby. She talked a bit on the mic at the event. And also
Yes, you remember me.
rocked the house with karaoke. And
I was definitely the best one there. No offense to all my
Don't touch
friends.
that. Hey, no. Ah.
No offense to all my friends.
she at least does not lack confidence.
Grapes, little love.
Yep. This is what we meant when we said escalation, y'all. There's going to be more escalation. You're thinking we are the best country in the world. Big part of what leads to it. I found that in general, focus on your own uniqueness is one of the big warning signs in organizations and leaders. It's always the ones talking about how special they are and how they're the best. I mean, we're very worried. This is when I said march toward dictatorship, y'all. This is the stuff that I meant. I'm not more worried now than I was in 2015 because this has all been exactly predictable. I was as worried as I could possibly be in 2015, which is why I changed my whole life to do something about it. There is still a knit-in planned for DC. It is March 8th. We currently have turned off tickets because we had a lot of interest and we're still trying to solidify the location. We will be turning on tickets again, but we do have more than 400 people signed up to come knit and organize and protest. So we are very excited about this.
We all wish there was more we could do individually, but that's why you got to go build your community. That's how you'll make a bigger impact.
We all need to really, really sit with the fact, and I wrote about this made a video reading it recently, but like Generation Joshua, like the evangelicals have been organizing. Their homeschool children have been involved in civics since they were, I said I was a Republican in the 2nd grade, right? Like we are not organizing. We need to organize because they have been organized since the 80s, and that's why we're here now.
Have formed and made. What was I gonna see over here? Candidates living overseas was an eye opener. Yeah, traveling abroad. Yeah, getting to see that there's more to the world than just the United States is a valuable asset to have for comparison. Because people it's always the one who will scream, America's the best place in the world. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I've probably never really been anywhere else. Hi, Sophie. Good morning. Or I guess good afternoon in most places. No, it's the morning in most of the U.S. anyway.
I am the same amount of worry that I was in 2015 because everything that I have predicted has pretty much exactly happened.
If you've been blowing the whistle since the Patriot Act, you've been on top of things for a long time. I mean, you're right. Here we are. That's definitely one of the first things that should be repealed if they get a trifecta. If the Democrats can ever achieve a trifecta, like that's what they need to do.
Yeah, we need to go after the Department of Homeland Security. Hopefully, all Americans understand why now. Like we need to regulate some things. We need to figure out how badly we knee-jerked after 9/11 and undo some of that, because it kind of seems like old Bin Laden won in destroying very significant parts of our democracy that we gave up after the attack.
She came into the screen almost saying, I love that. That's why I changed it. Said, don't say that. People misconstrue it. Say, I love frozen water or something. yeah, once we get over this concept of trickle-down economics, once we finally dismiss that as failed, once we admit that drugs won the war on drugs, and we just start moving forward into a better place, once we fix the Patriot Act to make sure that the federal government is not capable of spying on Americans in a real way, yeah, all of these things are within the realm of things that can be done if all we have to do is elect the right people. And she is a spirited baby for sure.
10 years old now.
Yeah, that's the U.S. used to be trusted. That's one of the things I've been wanting to talk about or trying not to talk about. I don't know, but like this concept of God, the fact that he attacked our allies in such a callous way at Davos, like you fought alongside so many NATO allies. Like I took so many Danes. I took Danes straight to the fight. Like they got on my helicopter and I took them to the fight. And to this idea of like just the way that felon draft dodging dickhead like dismissed our allies and said they avoided the front lines and said NATO wouldn't be there for us, like we're there for them, when literally the only time it's been needed is when they were there for us. Like infuriating to me as a veteran, and the way he not just, I mean, we've always known he doesn't give a shit about veterans. Yeah. Like this was clear, like, but
like I think a lot of people don't realize that like there were 66 countries in the coalition that responded to the attacks in the US and that like were involved in what went on in Afghanistan. Like the whole world order came and helped us because that's how it's supposed to work. And now he's just blowing it up.
Article 5 of NATO was invoked once to defend us. And then here we are 25 years later, not quite, 24 and a half years later.
The Dutch Sergeant Major, by the way, great salsa dancer.
Yeah. Never forget turned into, what happened 25 years ago again? Never mind. Fuck the brown people. No, I don't know when Republicans publicly forfeited their morals, but I know all of the ones that I knew did it pretty recently.
Yeah, the headset is at 67%.
There you go. That seems like plenty to play for a while.
No, 6-7.
Oh, 6-7. Yeah, we didn't
It started at 74.
Nice use of rhizomes there. I love it. And you're right. We didn't uproot it. We didn't get all those underground bits that were just waiting to spring back up once given the right conditions. And now we're seeing them all pop up again. So it's time to unroot it, rip them out, and say, no, we're not going to accept and just tolerate you. Like our tolerance doesn't extend to tolerating hatred towards other people. Like that's the mistake that has been made for a long time. It's like, oh, the tolerant left is so intolerant of my beliefs. It's like, no, you can believe whatever you want. But when you use your beliefs to justify hatred and dismissal of other human beings, like it doesn't work anymore. But again, all of these things are fixable.
There is a lot of extremists in the Army ranks, but very importantly, there's not 80%. And you need 80% for combat operations. And the Army is really good at taking care of idiots that want to pop off outside of the unit.
Yeah. Tom Tillis. Great. Shocking. The guy grows. I don't even say he's grown a bit of a backbone or found it. Like he's found the tiniest bit of confidence to say a little bit of truth now that he's announced that he's not running for re-election. Yeah, no. Tom Tillis doesn't get credit for anything. Like he has been a part of this. He empowered all of this. Like he has been there all of the whole way along. Fuck Tom Tillis. Sorry, I was trying to avoid going that hard on it, but Like, no, these people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, no, you don't get credit. Maybe you get credit for seeing the light, sure, and coming around, but you don't get trust. You get brought into the point where, to the extent where we want your vote for sure, but you don't get trusted with power.
Yeah. Plus, she said she was going to read out the Epstein list on the congressional floor on her last day, which she can't get in trouble for because that's affected by the speech and debate clause. And yet she fucking didn't because she's a lily-livered coward.
Yeah, no, these people who are like saying they're seeing the light, they're coming around saying I was duped, I was whatever. They were full willing participants. They just now see the writing on the wall, and that's the least authentic BS that I can imagine. And they're all of the rats fleeing the sinking ship are saying the same thing. And
we're going to see more of this, y'all, because they're starting to realize that it's failing. Right? It's failing. It's not working. Very clearly, Donald Trump is going to die. Shady Vance is an entirely losing ticket. And they don't want to go down. I love how he called it Titanic.
And yes, her last day was January 6th. Anyway, yeah, all of these so-called Republicans that think they're going to be able to get a vote because they're abandoning the sinking ship 6 months early, they all get to go down in history as enabling this same bullshit that we're all trying to live through. And I hope that none of the people that live in their neighborhoods forget it. You can't be disappointed in Marco Rubio. He never knew better. Marco Rubio has been the same spineless piece of crap that J.D. Vance has been forever. He's never taken a stand that he wasn't willing to walk back if he thought it would get him elected or a bit more power. And that's exactly how he's gotten to the Secretary of State right now. He was never good. He never knew better. He was always willing to cave whenever he had to. Sorry, I need to not go after individuals like that. I apologize.
No, you can go after Marco Rubio.
I get spun up on these individuals. Like, they're just not worth defending. Like, realize that they never had our better interest at heart, and they were only ever trying to get power for themselves, and then we'll be okay. That's once we realize they don't actually, like, if they're already rich, they don't have our interests at heart. They're just seeking power. Like, no, we need to go. We need to put in people who are willing to stand up for the little guy because they are the little guy. We need to find people who have the same moral compass that you have. Whatever direction your compass points, if you get behind a candidate that thinks like you, then okay.
I think AOC seems genuine.
I think she's genuine, yeah, and I think her background, where she comes from, she's like, yeah, I think she represents who she is. She represents her people, but
yeah,
she's also trying to represent her people in a way that keeps her on a national stage, which I think could be problematic.
And I also don't think people realize, like, when you're inside of a system like the government, you have to work inside that system. Part of the reason I don't want to run for any people keep being like, run for anything. And I'm like, why? I can say anything I want now. Like, it's going to be limiting my range if I go into the government. The same way, like, I couldn't say whatever I wanted in the military, but now that I'm outside, I can. And he gets a retirement check from them, so he still can't, but I can because I'm not connected. So we also have to pay attention to, like, the people who are currently in our government, like Jasmine Crockett, like AOC, they're still having to work within the system that they have to work within. We have to change the system to actually see government the way we want to see it. And that is going to be much harder than just electing the right people. We actually have to change the systems. This is one of the things Heather Cox Richardson keeps talking about. She's like, we not only have to imagine the America we want, we have to make sure we can't get back to this again. Like, we have to change the systems and put safeguards in place. And I do think it's very significant that it is only women standing up. Yes.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with one of my advisors the other day. He was born and raised in Mexico, I think he even earned his PhD there, but he's been living in and authorized to work in, a legal immigrant to the United States. However I need to say this, so whatever ICE agent is watching doesn't try to go after him for being. Anyway, a very smart plant geneticist that's been working, and he was telling me when I was telling him my plan for how I'm gonna go get in Ice's face. He was like, "Yeah, my sons really want to do the same thing." And I told him, I just had that vague. I said, "Please don't. Like, your sons carry too much of a risk based on their appearance. Like, people that look like me cause the problem, and people that look like me need to shoulder the burden of being the ones in the middle." So I hope I got that across to him. But
so what kind of safeguards? First of all, getting rid of presidential immunity, right? Getting rid or regulating the Department of Homeland Security. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that we need to not only change, but we need to put backstops in place. We need to make posse comitatus stronger, right? The restrictions of the president using the military. Like, there needs to be more safeguards in place. We need to get rid of the authorized use of military force that Congress gave to President Bush and that every president has used for just international violence, however the fuck they want. Like, those are the kinds of safeties that we need to put in place. But also a whole bunch that I don't understand because I'm not a politician or a political scientist. Even though at this point I might be a political content creator.
The fiscal barrier to running is real, just like registering as a candidate has a whole bunch of financial barriers that make it hard. You're absolutely right. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if it's like federally funded elections that are based on the census. So like the number of elections you have to hold because of the number of candidates you're allotted based on your census size says you get X amount of dollars. So you can have a certain number of candidates run, and then that money is all spent and controlled locally.
Right.
And then
going after Citizens United.
And Citizens United, like all of these things that you were saying, I would say, like, this is why we need to fix the Supreme Court. Like,
I also think like fairness and equality in journalism. We need that back, right? This has really been turning ever since Reagan or whatever allowed that to expire or got rid of it. And it's like, there used to be, if you were a journalist, you had the responsibility to be fair and equal, and platforms were supposed to be giving equal time to issues, regardless of like politics and blah, blah, blah. Like, there were some very important, there are reasons we had Walter Cronkite then and not now. We need to look at those things. We need to look at education as another huge safeguard, right? We need to change the education in our country so that this cannot happen again.
Two things. I'm going to answer two from this side. So what can you do for alternatives in your yard to make it hard to get? You can put signs in your windows. That makes it so they're much harder to get to. You can put signs on trees. You could mount them in more permanent fashions if they're things that you really believe in. Or if they're like places where you constantly want to have changing signs, you can put one post in the ground and like nail things to it or screw things to it. There's options. Just get creative. And then what was the other one I saw was safeguards with funding and Republican dog. Yeah, he's just being. Oh, fix SCOTUS. That was the one. More
Republican
judges.
Probably needs to go outside. So we're gonna say goodbye.
Not just more judges. Impeach judges. Like Thomas needs to be impeached. We need to get the money. We need to separate the money from the Supreme Court. We need to have oversight so we ensure that they've got an enforceable ethics code that they have to abide by. We got to make sure they can't hide all of these, all the money infusions that they get.
And we need to put more ethical standards on presidents. Like, Trump was the first one that didn't give up his managing his own businesses and money because he wasn't afraid. But like, every other president has done so, but it's not required by law. We need to require it.
Yeah.
We need to make it law that you cannot profit from being the president.
A lot of these things are these are all things that have been violated. These are like the emoluments clause. You know, everyone thought that the Constitution was self-enforcing. As we found out, it is not. So we need enforcement of constitutional everything. The Trump coin NFC. Yeah, like all of the money that he's just taken as straight bribes. Like, it's insane. I mean, these are all things that are the founders of our system thought were taken into account. They just didn't realize that all of the things could be hijacked at the same time under the right conditions. So here we find ourselves.
And so that's the other thing. It's like we don't necessarily know what we need to do to fix things and strengthen things. That's going to have to come from debate and voting and figuring things out. And yeah, there's a lot of times like you have to get rid of the one thing first before you can start imagining the next thing.
Enforcements we have, yeah, a lot. Like there's a fine line between enabling enforcement through numbers and then just building a big enforcement force that can be turned against the people under the right conditions. We're going to have to find the way to strike a balance between like once we fix the class divide, I think a lot of these things start tending to themselves, to be honest. Like once we don't have people like struggling to stay alive, once we don't have people struggling to stay alive like on such a large scale, we can have people putting more investment into communities. We can have people putting more investment into their arts and leisure time. We can have people less just angry in general. Once we get the money out of politics, even if we just get enough justices to go in and just overturn Citizens United, like would be a good start. Like even if we just go back and like obviously whenever the court is fixed, they're gonna have to go back and undo the clearly incorrect rulings. So I don't know. There's a laundry list of things that need to be addressed. No one any more important than the other. They're going to get approached in some order that won't make everybody happy, but hopefully we can just start addressing things. Yep, they've done nothing.
We need campaign finance reform. We need so many. I mean, we need healthcare, right? We need so many things.
Yeah.
It's going to be the nation that we get to build because everything is breaking. That is part of what makes living through interesting times interesting. It's like the disaster, and then you got to build it back up. We really need to codify the ERA. Oh my God, thank you.
That would be a good one.
The new book, it is out. And on that note, we are going to say goodbye because we're going to go hang out with ourselves for the rest of the day.
I was just saying, I'm about to leave anyway. So.
Where are you going?
Oh, just leave this. Oh, I guess I do need to leave this.
Yeah, we do need to still try to go find a sled.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all stay warm, stay safe, stay hydrated. It's important in cold weather. People forget to stay hydrated. And remember, fires in enclosed spaces when it's really, really cold outside tend to lead to carbon monoxide poisoning or indoor fires. So make sure you're taking care of yourselves, you're staying warm, and you're not bringing your propane grill inside to try to stay warm, because that will generally lead to you being dead. So don't do it. Stay vigilant. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Keep building that community. A wood fire in a fireplace is obviously a different thing. Properly vented fireplaces inside are perfectly safe to use as long as they're used with the flue open and in the correct position. So all of the smoke and gases leave. But it's the people who bring their gas grill in off their porch, close the door, use it to cook dinner, and then try to stay warm tends to really lead to bad carbon monoxide levels. So don't do that, please.
Practical skills. So this is how I stay alive. All right. So like this one, I'm going to start with green curlicues, and then I'm going to glue these butterflies on, and then I'm going to see what it looks like and maybe extend it further. And then this one is just space travel-y. So I'm going to put green curlicues all around here, and then I'm going to start adding more stuff. Gold. Add gold next. So that's what you have watched me do today. Plus, first we made earrings out of jewelry bags. So thanks for hanging out with us. Mr. Knitting Coat Lady doesn't always join me on my crafts, so that was fun.
It was just a nice Saturday morning where I could drink coffee and make bacon, and chat. Thanks for letting me go off on a few of those candidates.
Organize. Ask yourself what you can do every single week, and then also touch the ground. hang out with your family, remind yourself. What's the Dan something? But he's talking about the AIDS crisis. You know, he's like, during the day, we buried our friends. During the afternoons, we protested, and during the evenings, we danced. And we kept fighting because of the dance. Like the dance is what Dan. No, I don't think it was Dan Quayle.
Does seem like Dan Quayle never said anything brilliant. Trust me, it was not Dan Quayle.
And it was like in the reason, Dan Savage, yeah, the reason that we stayed in the fight was because of the dance. And by the way, one of the programs that we have for soldiers deployed overseas is salsa dancing. And like, you have to, oh no, Lisa, thank you. You have to remember what you're fighting for, right? The same reason we're going to go fight, even though we have kids and family we love, even though there's no way to safely resist an authoritarian regime. But you also need to like, still be participating in that world that you love so that you remember what you're doing it for. So we will not let Donald Trump take our sparkle.
Or as I once heard, we won't let them yuck our
we know
yum.
what is going on right now.
So try to use
Have a good weekend.